Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Today we are doing inner child messages from your inner child, but we're also adding a little magic and a little healing to these sessions today. Something just a little bit different to give you a little bit of an extra vavum, as it were. So as usual, we have pile 1, 2, and 3, but what we're going to do here is we're going to add a magical element to each pile, and then we're going to infuse that magical element with some healing through Reiki into each pile too, as we gather some messages for you. So let's get you some messages, the magic on camera. So the first magic is this one. So I'm just going to let you take note of that any way that you want to. Pay attention to the sigil, the symbol, or the meaning, whatever it is. Don't need to go too crazy at this point, but that's your pile 1. That's your beautiful magic for pile 1. Now, magic for pile 2. There you go. That is your magic for pile 2. And magic for pile 3. Beautiful, gorgeous. So whatever energy or sigil or sign brings you to each pile, that will be your pile. And of course, as we know here, the more you are in touch with your own beauty and your own light, the more you are in touch with these readings. So take as much time as you need to ponder which pile is yours. And the timestamps, as always, are down below. Gorgeousness. So let's get into these readings. Okay, so if you picked pile 1, we have Tree of Life, True Wisdom, and Making Good Choices in Life. So this is the magical element, the beauty of what we will be sending through your messages here today. And we're also going to send some extra healing right now to your inner child, and that way they'll feel much more secure about coming out and supporting you. So let's start with our beautiful Chokurei, our power symbol, and then we are going to do our Shanti symbol here. So just take a deep breath as we do this. And this Shanti symbol brings peace and creates trust in life. And it also helps you manifest the best results, which is perfect for this. Tree of Life, True Wisdom, and Making Good Choices in Life. Now, you don't have to accept any of this healing whatsoever. It's totally up to you. This is an added bonus for this reading. So you can simply say no and gather all the wisdom from the reading. It's totally up to you. So we're going to do one more for emotional healing too, and end right there with the power symbol. Okay, so let's go ahead and move these puppies back for a second while we get into your beautiful messages from your inner child. So sorry about that. All right, so let's get going. Hedgerow, let it go. Okay, so messages from your inner child, let it go. That's number 1. And then, composure. All right. So coming back from that, it's excellent. And then you have rose gold, cosmic pool, bathe in cosmic light, soak up wisdom. Okay, so Tree of Life, here we have. So this is all about gathering your wisdom, and also what we want to say for your inner child messages too. Gathering your wisdom from past experiences and even past life experiences are absolutely wonderful. But you're being asked here to gather all of your experiences here for a new level up through the eye of your inner child, right? So if you can, and we're going to ask you to Take in a deep breath and see if we can do this together. Think of a beautiful memory that you had when you were a child, just a beautiful memory. And our memories aren't always reliable when we're wee ones, when we're little ones. So even if you feel as though it's a memory that wasn't necessarily true, but you feel as though you're not sure of the truism of it, it doesn't matter. And if you cannot find a really beautiful memory from your childhood, let's invoke right now the inner child and send your energy back to the way in which your inner child would see. And let's just take a moment here and really sit with this memory and pull in that experience, the experience of that memory, and really allow yourself to ground into that memory and that beauty, and feel how light you are in just knowing that that memory exists in that beautiful, where everything is uncomplicated and it's true for you. You have your own beauty, you know what you're doing. Maybe some of you are playing in a field, maybe some of you are playing with your favorite toy. It doesn't matter. It's that innocence and that beauty. So hold that energy today, hold that energy. And this is what we want you to come back to. Each moment that you feel as though you need it, this will be your basis for moving forward. So in the present moment, as you ground yourself in the present moment, and as we know, the present moment is where we get our clear future from, because our past is gone and our future is really being built based on our present moment. So if we're free from our past and we're free in the present moment, then we have so many different ways we can move in the future, but all of them will be precise and beautiful in what we want. We will be gathering in the energy of what we want and having that magical life, right? So in that beautiful moment that you have, in that time, in that moment, seeing everything through your inner child is a way that you can move forward successfully and beautiful. So as you stay in that moment and coming back into center, sometimes it's very difficult to keep a really clear mind, or to keep your mind empty in the present moment, because pasts come in and thoughts come in and they're fleeting, but they tend to stay, and then sometimes we get caught up on them. So that's totally understandable. But an exercise for you, Pile 1, is to actually manifest the eyes of your inner child, how they would see things a little bit lighter, a little less complicated, a little bit more to the beauty of magic, right? Anything is possible. And this will keep you in your composure. And also it'll be able to elevate you into the next level. So if the past does come up and you come up, if it comes up in and around you and you're getting a little irritated, the inner child will be able to say, none of that matters, because they're not interested in day-to-day things, the mundane. They make everything absolutely beautiful and wondrous, right? And they're also not interested in the past. The past to them is 30 seconds ago. So they're not interested in taking on that energy. So that's something that you can do in a practical way too. And also the bathing in the cosmic love, soaking up that wisdom, being in that place of pleasure, being in that beautiful state of mind, gives you that freedom where you can cut those cords permanently from your past, cutting those cords, pulling them out once and for all, and knowing that you have this beautiful inner moment where you can move in any direction in the present moment. So this is your true wisdom, should you choose to take it on in this way. True wisdom to see life through the eyes of your inner child. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more Reiki here. We're going to do the Kriya. So for those of you who are interested, I'm using the Karuna Reiki symbols here. They're a little bit more specific than the regular symbols that you start off with Usui, which are absolutely wonderful and a great basis. But I love the Karuna Reiki symbols because they really help to solidify all of the energy, and they have a little extra vavum and magic to them. So this is a little extra grounding for you. It creates it heals not only you but the human race, and it also helps you manifest goals. So if you want to think about goals that you want to manifest in this moment, and you can play this pile back, this this back anytime you want to, and replay it with new goals if you want to, and use the Reiki and the magic any way you want to. I'm doing this today for something a little bit different, to bring, like I said, a little bit of extra magic and beauty, because this is being just before the new moon and just before the Lion's Gate. I'm actually filming this the day before, and it will go up on the Lion's Gate and on the new moon. So there's just so much magic in and around. So I really wanted to spend a little bit more time, maybe do something just slightly outside of the box for you to get a little extra magic this weekend. So let's go ahead and get you some extra grounding. So think about what it is that you're trying to manifest. Not trying, we're going to take that out of our vocabulary. What you've already manifested, because if you've thought of it, it already exists. It's just a matter of bringing it to you. And then we're going to add this wonderful grounding symbol here that manifests goals. And we're going to use the power symbol too. And that will create much more beauty and much more energy around your goals. Let's also, for this reading, let's move this back. We're also going to get you some tarot cards. So you guys have some wonderful stuff. So I did look at the bottom. Love coming in for you too, securing relationships that are coming into you. For some of you, you are in relationships already, but you're taking it one step further into a level of commitment, which is absolutely wonderful. Again, looking for partners where you can be childlike with, because those are the relationships that can last so long too. You know, sometimes we get so serious about finding love, and really it's all about lightening up and having fun. Of course, choose somebody that also can take things seriously too when the time comes, but a mixture of both is what you want to have a beautiful, magical life. So let's see what we have for you here. Messages from your beautiful inner child. So underneath here, let it go, you have the Emperor. So for those of you who are working through some stuff that's been coming up for you, it's really not about old stuff coming up, not at all. It's more specifically about how you gather your magic from the beauty of what's already happened to you. So it's an extra level of wisdom for you, Pile 1. Now, we can always extract the wisdom from our experiences, and that's wonderful too. No one's saying anything about that, but that's not really what you're being asked to do from your inner child. You're also being asked to, when you look upon your past, to see the beauty and the magic that occurred too. It's very easy for us to see everything that's happened to us and then gather the wisdom from that. And very often, you know, we're put through these trials and tribulations in order to be able to sort of come out on the other side and gain wisdom from them. And that can be sort of trial and error. That can be tough to go through. And of course, when we come out on the other side, you know, we're able to let go and say, yes, you know, we have a little bit of space. Yes, absolutely. I'm grateful that I went through that, you know, when we're completely on the other side. But this is a little bit different. This is looking back and really being very clear about when the magic happened, when something's just sort of came together unexpectedly, or when you were in a bit of a crazy situation, yet you landed on your feet in a way that just didn't make sense. You know, those times when you really asked for help and something magical happened, or when you were in a situation and out of nowhere you got what you wanted, you know, and just knowing that energy exists. You're being asked to look back on your life in that way, in a very, very specific way. Now, you can turn this into a meditation and make it really beautiful. And again, you know, we're channeling your inner child, so excuse these messages that are coming up. They might seem a little bit crazy, but, you know, whatever I'm shown, I show you. And I don't do a filter on it because it's not my right to do a filter. But for some of you, and you might actually be involved in dance or movement, you're being asked to should you take up this task and want to do it. As you do this exercise and you feel everything that you've been through and all the magic, you're being asked to express that sort of in movement. And as I do that, my hand is moving. You don't have to move your entire body, and if you're not able to, then obviously just what you can. But if you want to, under the moonlight or under the sun, we're in Leo season, whatever you feel, you can go out and just sort of move with the movements. Move your body. It's also a way to get out old energy too. When you're bringing up energy that may be stuck, getting out old energy. But it's all about the flowing movements of remembering that magic, and then you will bring that magic to you and it will click back into your body. And it's sort of a way to bring in this divine masculine, this divine feminine, because it's sort of a flowy, swayy kind of divine feminine sort of beautiful way of moving, but at the same time it's a direct sort of grounding into the earth as you move, and it's with intense purpose and magic that we're pulling in all of this magic that you've had from your past. And it's also a way to say thank you to your guides, to say thank you to your unicorn guides, to say thank you to everyone who has been in and around you, because they want to work with you again. And it's also a way to solidify the energy of your inner child. So this is absolutely gorgeous. It's a way for you to really delve into your power in a slightly different way. in a more organic way, even though this is the Emperor and it has this masculine energy of beauty, but at the same time has this wisdom and this way of being able to look at everything from an objective viewpoint, not looking down upon everything, which is something that we can do when we look back on our lives and trying to make out what's happened to us and extract the wisdom. We can become a little sort of rigid about it a little bit. This is much more organic and open and beautiful, and again from this light-hearted gorgeousness that you have from your inner child. Let's move this back just a little bit, and again coming back to the tree of life, this real organic roots. You're being the tree, bringing down these beautiful roots, but you're reaching for the stars. It's just another way for you to solidify your beautiful inner child. And as we always say here at Unicorn Light Tarot, these are just suggestions for you to do. Please always listen to your intuition and take this as something that you can move off in any direction and add to it the way in which you want to. But if you want to try this exercise, especially on the new moon coming in, could be absolutely wonderful, but it doesn't have to be the new moon. Could be the full moon, could be any moon. And we have the Princess of Discs here, the coins coming in. Absolutely wonderful. So this is a way for you. Some of you are looking to manifest the different ways of seeing wealth. Now, of course, these are general messages. Some of you may be actually trying to bring in more money, bring in more wealth. But in order to bring in more wealth, seeing your life is already wealthy, of course, with this inner child, beautiful energy, and looking back on your life and seeing how much you truly have. And again, looking back on your past and how much you've truly gone through and what you've truly experienced. A lot of you have a lot of rich experiences, but because a lot of you were in survival mode, there wasn't really a lot of area for your inner child to step in and sort of share those moments with you. But you have the chance now to go back and integrate that beautiful inner child and just see how magical sort of your life was. And it's almost like they're telling a new tale on your life. And whatever narrative we tell ourselves is whatever narrative we give ourselves, because we're made up of our own narrative. You get the chance to go back and sort of shift your narrative to the way in which you want to incorporate your inner child. So you can see your life story as sort of a fairy tale in a way, and fairy tales have a lot of ups and downs. They're tales of woe and cautionary tales, especially if you go back to the Hans Christian Andersen, the German tales. And a very good friend of mine in New York City, her husband is German, and she actually brought me over fairy tales. I mean, it was brutal. One of them gave me a nightmare. I called her up the next day and told her to bury the book. I never want to see it again. But, just as an example, fairy tales have so many different elements and layers to them. So you can go back and create this new sort of narrative for yourself. And in that narrative, you make yourself this beautiful, wealthy person already. And from that wealth, that's when you gather more. And again, some of you are looking for actual wealth. Some of you are looking for a house. Some of you are looking for love. Some of you are just looking for a golden future. It could be anything. It could be all of the above. And there's absolutely no reason for you not to have it, because if you believe you can have it and you've already put the energy out there, that it's already yours. It's just a matter of pulling it in into your life. It's just a matter of being a match to whatever it is that you're asking for. So these small moments of being in that in the moment without your past affecting your future, and then bringing in this beautiful, lighthearted fairy tale aspect of your life. Now, I can understand that for some of you, it'd be like, all right, this is a little lula, this is a little bit crazy, this is a little bit out there, this is not actual reality. And I want to remind you that your inner child doesn't work in actual reality. And the actual reality that we give ourselves is just a narrative, like we've already said. So why not give yourself an actual reality that is lighter and brighter and full of magic? To have that magical life, this is a time for you to work in and around that, be able to give that to yourself. You've gone through so many changes, Pile 1. There's no reason for you to step in to this new narrative that you're absolutely in control of and that you're absolutely ready for. And in fact, let's Iva, I'm not sure if I ever say that quite right, but this is a beautiful symbol for claiming your power. It also heals reality awareness and helps you sort of move through what we consider reality so you can create your own reality. So, sometimes it's wonderful to have that practical mind, wonderful, but sometimes we want to brighten things up, and we want to work from the higher perspective, which of course your inner child does, and they see through every situation into the magic. So let's help you out with that. Right here, and we're going to give you the power symbol there too. So just keep breathing. Drink some water after this session too. And again, you can play back this session and work with it in various different ways if you want to. This is organized a little bit different, as we said. And let's see what we have here for underneath bathe in cosmic love, soak up wisdom. You have the Tower. So again, this reading absolutely is about Pile 1. Without a shadow of a doubt, if you refigurating everything that's happened for you and seeing the beauty in it, the all-seeing eye. And sometimes you've been through situations where everything is completely crumbled and you've had to build yourself out of the ashes, the phoenix from the ashes. So if this is happening, or if this is happening for you now, or it's happened in the past, then you're invited to come in and make that new reality for yourself. This is a way for you to create a new way of being and to pull in others. This card is also about unity. These cards together, also about unity, connectedness into this earth, and also around with your soul family that are absolutely coming in for you. So healing the past for things, and there have been some things that have happened to you. No one's denying Pile 1. They've not been so great, and you've not always had the support that you've needed in order to get through that. So it's much more important for your inner child to be in and around you to create these magical, beautiful beings. And in fact, some of you may have been through situations that when you were a child, you weren't able to be safe being a child completely, or you had to grow up too quickly to take care of things, or it wasn't, you were told to grow up when you were a child. So your inner child may not have been sort of fully developed or really had that charisma, that beauty that it needed to be able to sort of find that magic. It may have been cropped short just a little bit. So this is a beautiful message for you. This is definitely the reading for you, Pile 1, to be able to go back and claim, like we said in the first pile here, be able to claim from the ashes all of that magic from everything that's happened to you, and be able to see that you were absolutely in and around magic your entire life, and build that narrative for you. This is so important for you to build a narrative that you want for the rest of your life, and you're absolutely ready to build a narrative that suits you and doesn't suit or reflect the old. This is time for you to step into your beauty. This is time for you to step into a brand new beginning, filled with magic and filled with beauty. Absolutely. Let's pull one more card for you here. So the Tower card, some people are really freaked out by this. The Tower card for you is definitely for the past. This is already, you've already fallen, or everything's already fallen apart for you in the past. This is about how you use that energy to go back and use the ashes. And again, very strange, but as Phoenix from the Ashes type iconography that you have in and around you, all the ashes that you have from everything that you've been through, that you burned to the ground or is burned from the ground, so you've had to start again. You can take those ashes and infuse them with candles. Keep saying making candles. A little bit odd, but making candles. So for those of you who are making magic or working with candle or candle magic, this is an infusion of your past to finally let go. So for some of you, this is a message to light a candle and look into the flames, and in those flames choose the narrative that you want and move through it and claim that narrative for yourself. You can also claim whatever it is that you want down below in the comments, and all of that energy that works together. Even though these are, you're all going to interpret this reading slightly differently because it's a general reading, we can all band together and pull in that energy and support each other. So, and for some of you, it could be taking ashes from something and actually making candles with intention. Some of you might be actually doing that and moving into a business doing that, but just definitely saw you working with candles. But some of you are making candles and infusing essences of it. Now, it was shown to me as ashes from your past, but it also could be wisdom from your past, making these beautiful candles and sending them out into the world. So you've got the sun here, the golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. Look at that. This is an absolute beautiful beginning for you that's in your own hands, choosing your own narrative. This is all for you. All you have to do is claim it through the eyes of your inner child to move forward in the way that you want to. And again, it's about alignment, not in control. Everything that you want is already out there. Align with that energy and it comes to you immediately. It's almost like it pops down a chute and there it is. So aligning in this beautiful, bathing in this beautiful light of your inner child brings it in quicker. And also, who doesn't want to infuse with this beautiful inner child energy to make your life magical and gorgeous? And that's how pure magic really happens, especially with spell work. It's your inner child that believes it's going to happen in that narrative, and they really do work once you infuse that energy. So yeah, nice big deep breath after this, and go drink some water if you feel like you want to cleanse and move out all of the old energy too with these Reiki symbols. And again, let us know down below what it is, if you feel comfortable, always if you feel comfortable, what it is that you're claiming for your life and your narrative. Secure that down below and we'll all work together, and I'm going to be sending everybody some great energy for the comments too for this week, and of course for the new moon and the Lion's Gate coming in. So yeah, thanks for being here for this slightly different reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Also going to put down downstairs, down in the comments below. If you haven't checked out the new moon and it's the Lion's Gate, which appears on the new moon, the Lion's Gate portal reading, I'm going to list that down below. That can give you a little extra magic coming in to infuse in this reading too. So I'm going to check that down below. And also stay tuned for tomorrow in the community. If you are not subscribed here and you feel as though this could be great energy, we would love to have you. But also do check out the community page. I believe you can check that out no matter whether you're subscribed or not. I have a great announcement for working a little bit differently, taking the Unicorn Light Tarot to a slightly different level, and I would love to get your feedback. So that's all coming tomorrow. All right, Pile 1, you stay safe and sane, and sending you so much beauty and magic and inner child magic and healing and gorgeousness. And whatever it is that you need, remember your narrative is yours to fuse and to open up and to work with in any direction that you want to. Until we meet again, Pile 1. Bye-bye. Okay, all you pile tours, these are your messages. So you chose the Goddess, healing feminine energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to infuse that energy into your pile, into your messages, and we're also going to send some peace and beautiful healing to your inner child too. So we're going to start off the reading by doing that. We're going to do that with our symbol here, and it's called Shanti. And as I said in Pile 1, these are Karuna Reiki symbols. So this symbol brings peace and creates trust in life. It can also help with insomnia and heals fear and panic. So just infuse all that beautiful wisdom and beauty and healing into the need and the beauty of the Goddess, and also for your beautiful inner child. And we're going to send that off with the power symbol there. So we're going to start your reading. So slightly different reading today, but wanted to do something different for the Lion's Gate portal. So let's get you some messages from your inner child, or inner child messages. Invention is your first one. Brilliant new ideas. Absolutely wonderful. Look at that. Expect miracles. Gorgeous, Pile 2. Spiritual warrior. Show you are a wise leader. Command the universe. So this is wonderful messages from your inner child here, Pile 2. And it's, you know, we work best when we're directly working with, of course, our inner masculine and our inner feminine, our divine masculine and divine feminine, when it's absolutely leveled out. And of course, you know, it's never really 50-50. It's, you know, it evens out as we move forward. But really what is going on here is absolutely wonderful, because in the Goddess, in the beauty of intuition, is where you find your magic, Pile 2. You've done a lot of healing, you've done a lot of this work, and you're ready to implement these new ideas that are coming in. Now, for some of you, you don't always trust those new ideas, or you trust the idea of them. But you know, they start off as an idea and you've got to make them tangible, right? But the idea of them is either overwhelming or they stay an idea. But actually, the strength of the Goddess, the strength of your inner wisdom, the strength of your intuition, which of course is divine feminine, is what can bring all of this to fruition. And that's when you expect miracles. So, you know, there's a new level to where you're going in life. And it's the spiritual warrior. You know, I talk about this in my book too, the need to have the warriorship and then put down the warriorship because you no longer need it. With everything that you've been through, you can absolutely claim this beautiful energy that's in and around you. And this wise leader, you absolutely have this leadership quality around you. And stepping into this leadership role. But it all goes in with this sort of dynamic of the divine feminine, showing the vulnerability, showing up in the way that you want to, with every aspect of your personality coming together, no longer dumbing down some of the personality or hiding some of it because you feel as though you need to protect it. But these are messages from your beautiful inner child. So let's get you messages from their perspective. So channeling your inner child, the first thing that I keep getting is fireworks going off constantly, fireworks going off. So this understanding that you get these really beautiful bright ideas and they go off of fireworks in the air, and then, you know, as the fireworks dissipate and you're just sort of standing there. So to keep that momentum going, I want to keep that beautiful, and we talked about this in pile 1, keep that your narrative of the magical infused in your life at all times. So let's go ahead and with this Noza here, we have connecting the higher self with the lower self, and healing communication, and we're going to help to increase creativity too with this symbol. So let's just take this symbol here and just breathe through it, and we're going to do the power symbol too. So this is going to help you. Now, you don't have a problem with these ideas in any way, shape, or form. And it's not that you don't think you can bring these ideas into fruition. It's just that there's a little bit of self-doubt there that comes in sometimes. Even this idea of you know, are you the right person to bring it? Or, you know, you have these ideas that are slightly outside of the box, and you're wondering if, for some of you, these are general readings, of course, you know, will the idea fall short, or this, that, and the other? It really doesn't matter. Once you get out there and allow yourself to really sort of immerse yourself in life, it's almost like you have a way forward, pile 2, where, you know, you get an idea, you move forward on it, and then you come back into sort of your shell, and then you have an idea, or you do something, you come out, you do this, and then you come back out. So this is sort of opening up into the world again, as we say on this channel a lot, you know, moving spherically in many different directions, allowing the magic to come to you, putting that baby step out first, and then you might go in a completely different direction, but absolutely having the faith that what you do, you're ready to chart your journey, is what I'm hearing. You're ready to chart that journey now, and it's going to be a magically infused journey. In fact, some of you might actually be working on courses with magic or some kind of magical thinking, and you know what you're going to do, which is absolutely brilliant, and I'm 100%, 150% behind this, pile 2, is that your whole thing is that you're not going to present any of this as magic, because sometimes when you see it as magic, we see it as something that's elevated that we need to work towards. The way in which you infuse this energy, people can expect this energy in and around them constantly. We almost see sometimes, you know, striving for magic. Magic is outside of ourselves. The way in which you're going to work is you're going to infuse it and teach people how to see it all the time. And it starts with you, because the magic is in and around us all the time. We just have to shift our perception in order to be able to see it and keep that perception shifted. Sometimes, and it's very often when, you know, the world seeps in, and it can seem a little heavy, it can bring us down, and it dumbs down the voice of our magic and that beautiful narrative, and our narrative changes, it gets a little bit darker. This is for you to expect these miracles as you move into this mindset and adopt this mindset and live in this mindset and teach people how to be in this mindset. And it's nothing that can be necessarily needs to be outside of ourselves, or it's nothing that needs to be how would we say it, strived for necessarily, or it's definitely a gift, but it's also something that we can expect, this magical life. So bringing into this understanding that you're coming into this leadership role, you might be making this leadership role for yourself. It might be infused into what you already do. It might work out into a promotion, or it might be the way in which you step up in your life. But you are ready to do this infused with the energy of goddess energy too, and you can really feel that strength. It's absolutely gorgeous. Let's pull this back just a little bit while we get you some tarot here with your gorgeous energy here with your inner child energy, who just wants to play, skipping around, having fun. And that's an idea you may have been told. I keep seeing that you may have been told that there is a time and place for having fun, and you know, fun doesn't need to be infused. And somewhere along the line, You know, for some of you, again, you know, we can't say that this is going to resonate with every single one of you, but you may have started to see life as something that needs to be lived, and it's something that needs to be worked through, something, you know, you need to drudge through sometimes, and things that, you know, there's things that you don't need to, that you don't want to do. And of course, we all do things that we don't have to do, but, you know, you can change your perception. I get to do them. But I mean, beyond that, it's really, you know, you may have prioritized or categorized parts of your life. You know, if I get to do this, then I get to have fun. And it's about changing that narrative and infusing all of that beauty. So every day is fun. And that creates magic. And it also creates a bed for all of your beautiful inventions and all of your beautiful ideas to grow with seemingly just a little bit of effort. So underneath invention, we have brilliant new ideas. Look at this, Ace of Wands. Yeah, absolutely. You are ready. And we talked about the image of the phoenix rising from the ashes in pile 1. You know, you have these bird wings. You're ready to fly. You're ready to and all of this passion that you have, it's not brand new. You've always had a passion for life, but sometimes it gets dumbed down. Now, you're also incredibly sensitive, so you take on other people's energy. So you want to make sure that you're cleansing yourself from that energy every day, because sometimes you can have this energy in and around you, and you don't realize it's not your own energy, and you can pick up especially darkness, because there's a part of you that's an alchemist. So there's a part of you that's open to taking on that darkness, so you can alchemize it, and you are able to do it. And it does take a couple of days, or, you know, depending on how you've been working with yourself, you can do it. But you don't need to do this anymore. That was an aspect of your personality that may have come from childhood, where you saw people suffering and nobody was doing anything about it. And you went in and you knew that you had this ability, whether you realized it in a tangible way or not, because you were just a little wee one. But you were able to do this, take on other people's pain. And somewhere along the line, for some of you, you felt as though this is something that you needed to do. And for some of you, it could have moved into a bit of a martyr status, where I don't want you to hurt at all. Let me take on that hurt. We want to remind you that, you know, a lot of what we go through isn't necessary, if we look at it objectively. If we look at it from sort of the lower stance, it doesn't feel great. But from the higher perspective, from our higher self, this is what we need to go through in order to develop. So, of course, if we're taking that away from somebody, we're robbing them of the chance to develop. And this is something that comes from having such a pure heart as yours. You don't want any suffering. You don't like to see any suffering. It really hurts your soul. But also, understanding that the way in which the world works, there needs to be some of it in order for us to be able to move through it, for order for us to do better, to understand, to create a better life, to move against that resistance. All right, I see this. I don't want this happening anymore. I'm going to do something about it, and I'm going to liberate from it. You can't liberate from something if it doesn't exist. So it doesn't mean that, you know, it's great that it exists. It doesn't mean that we love that, you know, nasty things go on. Not at all. And in our own way, we don't have to accept it. We can do something about it, and you can. But by taking on the energy to catalyzing it, sometimes brings down your own energy. So cleanse yourself as often as you feel as though you need to, especially if you're feeling as though you're feeling a little bit dark and you don't really know where it came from. Chances are it's not your energy. Keeping your energy pure means that you've got these fireworks going off, and you're going to keep those fireworks in the sky. Your inner child is absolutely ready to integrate. In fact, most of you have integrated your inner child. It's just a matter of keeping your inner child front and center, and understanding that it's safe for your inner child to show themselves and show themselves in your personality at all times. Some of you have had the inner child personality where it's come out, and some people have seen it as naive, or they've taken advantage of that, and then, you know, you've come back and tried to protect the inner child and dumbed it down to protect, and that's totally understandable. But once the inner child is completely fused, then they are going to be there no matter what. They don't need protecting. However, if you do ignore your inner child, you will know this more than anything, Pile 2. They are ready to have tantrums. They are ready to have tantrums, and they do have tantrums sometimes. So sometimes it is your inner child that's having the tantrum, and that's like the sort of the darkness, right? So it just means that you've not been paying attention to them. Also, I'm getting this message. This could be just for a select few, but I also say, You know, I get a lot of messages about this too, and people have been saying that, you know, you have to eat a certain way in order to ascend, and this, that, and the other. Listen to your intuition. Everybody will eat differently. There's no right or wrong way to eat as long as you're eating for health for yourself. But I also say that sometimes you eat for health and sometimes you eat, you know, to satisfy cravings, or not cravings necessarily, but your inner child. Sometimes you got to eat for your soul. Okay, it's just a matter of keeping it into the intuition and also keeping it balanced, so you're not, you know, you're not just doing this and doing that and going off in one way that is unhealthy. But so for some of you who might be a little locked into how you eat, it's being suggested from your inner child too. Sometimes they need to eat, sometimes they want that eating for the soul. So it's okay to eat a little bit crappy every now and again. Just eat better the next day. You know, it all balances out. But, you know, and eat it with, you know, having fun doing it, enjoy it. You know, if you, no matter what you eat, if you're thinking that it's not good for you or this, that, I mean, my cousin used to say to me, you know, she didn't eat crap very often, but when she did, she said, if I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to go hell in style. Choose the thing that you want to eat, enjoy it dramatically, and then go back to how you eat the next day. But also just opening that up in your personality too, just having that fun and allowing your inner child to sort of voice what it is that they want. And of course, you know, sometimes if they, you know, they're having a tantrum, you got to work with them. And also, not everything they want you need to give into. I mean, you know, child needs discipline also. But sometimes, you know, it's just about having fun and going to the fair and having that cotton candy because you haven't had it in 10 years, that sort of thing. Enjoy it, have fun, and then clean your teeth afterwards, because I'm sure it's really bad for your teeth. So under expect miracles, look at this 10 of Cups. So it's just really coming into this family unit of getting and achieving what it is that you want. And we're not even using the word achieving because you already have it, but it's seeing every level of your life sort of level up and have this beautiful sunshine run all the way through it. And it's all about really understanding that whatever you have asked for is already there. We said this in pile 1 too. Everything that you've asked for in law of attraction already exists, you know. And some people are obsessed with taking action. There's nothing wrong with action, although we're working with the goddess here. But for you and for most people, action doesn't necessarily do anything unless it's divinely aligned. And being aligned will put you so much further with the action. Some people are just like, all right, I want to do this and I want to get this, and they're action, cross that off the list. And they're not really living. They're just working through things in order to get to somewhere. Being divinely aligned means that you're absolutely aligned with whatever it is that you want. You know you're going to get it, and it's having that magical life. It doesn't mean that it doesn't require effort and it doesn't require action. Of course it does, but divinely aligned action is very different from just working down the line and getting things done. You know, you might find with action that you're always moving forward, but you never quite reach where you want or never quite achieve what it is that you want. It's almost like the carrot's being dangled, and it's every time you get to a certain point, it's being pulled away from you. There's just not an existence like coming back into that understanding that you can have whatever you want with divine action. So this is something that will be clicked into once the inner child is sort of front and center there, again, in and around the starlight attitude that they have. So let's do what are we going to do here too? So again, whatever it is that I'm being told that comes through, I tell you also. So this Aiva, the symbol that we're going to give you from Karuna Reiki here too. Now, this symbol actually is really beautiful because you can stand next to a tree with this symbol and work with this tree with grounding. So what we're going to do as we do this, and I'm going to do it one more time, and as I do it this time, I'm going to imagine you and your inner child next to a tree. And as we do that, we're going to ground your roots into nature, and we're going to ground and fuse your inner child with your grown-up self and fuse that into the reins of Mother Earth, into Middle Earth there. So, and if this is something that you don't want, you can just say no, that's fine. Always be comfortable. But if you do want this, you can say yes. And as we imagine your roots being melded with your inner child, and then into the ground of Mother Earth. We're going to put sorry, that's my fridge in the background. I moved offices, and that is your power symbol, grounding you right in to the earth, grounding you right into your beautiful inner child there, so they're always there, and this beautiful essence that you have where you're listening to each other. Again, when they're having tantrums, you work with them differently, but when they want a hamburger or they want that cotton candy, you know, you work with them too, but having that magic at your fingertips, that magical narrative that you're going to create together at all times. Okay, let's see. So keep breathing, and also drink some water after this session too, if you've done the Reiki part of it. So you have the Five of Cups with the spiritual warrior. Yeah, you've had some, not some problems, you've had some differences of sort of warring differences within one's psyche, within your psyche, about how you step up, whether you should step up. Some of you were a little bit nervous about being in the limelight. There's also some stuff coming in from past lives about putting yourself in the limelight and feeling insecure, or feeling, even for some of you, in danger. This is all past life stuff that has been moving out. And also, the idea is not that you don't want to take responsibility, but it's the idea of not working with your energy as powerfully as you could. So it's, you know, if I choose this and I get it, maybe I don't want it, because the way in which you manifested your energy before, you've moved through it with this action. Sometimes you've done all the action, you've gotten what it is that you thought you wanted and you didn't want it. So it's a part of it is like, but you'll be working differently this time by working with your intuition, and you'll be divinely guided. So when you step into, you'll be stepping into a path, and your inner child will guide you with that magical life. So you'll be living spherically and moving in different directions. So you won't be on this one way of doing it, which is the way that you were before, where you're ticking off and getting things done, and then at the end of it realizing, oh my God, what have I done? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. I enjoyed certain aspects of it, but this is not what I want to do anymore. So it's a matter of seeing things differently and fusing that beautiful inner child, which we've helped you do today. And again, as we said in pile 1, you can use this energy healing, and you can use this session. It's a little bit different than what I normally do. You can go back and reuse it and listen to it again and use it for different healing and however you want to use it to. And also with pile 1, if you want to list in the comments anything that you're working on or anything that you want to achieve. We can also, I'm going to be putting some Reiki in and around everybody's beauty, whatever it is that they want to achieve or will achieve. Absolutely, it's already achieved, bringing into their existence. I'm going to be putting some Reiki and lifting up all of those comments. All week we're going to be working with it. We also are going to be working with the magic of the new moon and the Lionsgate portal, which is why I wanted to do this beautiful reading today, because it's going to come out tomorrow. And we'll have some extra magic in and around, and also with the community aspect of everybody writing down below, and you know, just being there for each other. We can lift each other up, and all of this, because everything we do, even though we come and we're unique, we're on our own, but at the same time we're very much connected. We are each other. So it's this level of this difference between you and me, but at the same time not. So moving into the spiritual warrior, but again, for you, it's not even a warrior. It's just this wise leader. You're ready to do this now, and you're ready to move in the way that you want to and claim your life the way that you want to. So this reading should be great for you, because the way in which, ironically enough, that you're going to achieve what you want to achieve is through the inner child means, not by one way, let's move and get this action down. It's divinely aligned. It's by being in touch with the roots in the ground, being in touch with your own narrative, and resurrecting and working through the narrative. And you don't like parts of your narrative or how you see yourself or how you think other people see you, change it. because you can. It's your narrative. You change it at any time. And if other people don't see what you see, that's fine. It's all about you putting your energy first and moving forward. But you will do it with the with the infusing of the goddess energy, the divine feminine for you and your beautiful inner child. So let's see, we have just one of these here. Oh, this popped out. Look at this, labyrinth. Yes, transitions to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration, enlightenment, absolutely. This is just a way for you to solidify and bring home the energy of the magic. And then from there you have that magical life and keeping that energy in there at all times, which means, Pile 2, putting your energy first, because you always want to look after everybody else. You can be a caretaker, but put your energy first. And believing in your own spirituality, believing in your leadership qualities, and doing things on your own terms. Again, allowing yourself to be guided instead of propelling yourself into what you think you need to do next. Listening. Your intuition is absolutely impeccable, but sometimes your impatience to get to somewhere that you want to get to can slow you down a little bit, because you block out your intuition a little bit because you just want to get there faster. Now, the ironic thing is that if you give yourself a little bit of room and you give yourself some patience, you will absolutely find that everything happens much quicker than you ever could have imagined. So you're on the right tracks. You've absolutely got this moving into, again, even the leadership role, whether you're given it from the external world, whether you create it for yourself, whether it's something that's just a natural spark and moving forward. Claim it in your own beauty and your own heart. Again, working with the divine feminine particularly, and with your inner child. So let's ground in this energy. This is a beautiful double power symbol here, which will help you and solidify you manifesting your goals. Beautiful. Absolutely. And it will also help you ground into the energy that we did before. A lot of you are earthy, but you're not necessarily always grounded. Grounding into that energy, again, that tree energy. And don't forget to go out and hug a tree if you feel it will be really great for you, especially after what we've done with the roots, and bringing that goddess energy and fusing that with yourself and your inner child. So we hope you loved the slightly different reading today. I'm also going to leave the last reading that I did before, which is the Lionsgate portal reading, and which comes on the new moon. If you haven't clicked on that and listened to that yet, it will be down below in the description. I do suggest that you do. That is more in line with the readings that we normally do, but that could give you some extra support and information that you need for the magic that's coming in. So stay safe and sane, Pile 2. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. Go enjoy your inner child energy today and have those fireworks go off and keep them in the sky. Sending so much support for you wherever you are in the world and whoever you are right now in this moment. Until we meet again. Bye-bye. Okay, all you wonderful Pile 3ers, so we're doing a magical reading. Here we have inner child messages with magic and healing, slightly different from what we normally do. But if you chose this pile, then on target, follow your ideal life path. So what we're going to do is we're going to infuse this beautiful magical card, the intention behind this card, into your reading, into your messages. And we're also going to send some beautiful energy and healing to your inner child. Now, you don't have to accept it if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. But if you do, it is here for you. So we are going to start off with this Shanti. These are Karuna Reiki symbols. And this is the Shanti symbol, brings peace and creates trust in life. And it's going to manifest the best results for you. It can also increase clairvoyance too. Sometimes it can open the third eye. So we're using that to infuse all of this energy into your beautiful reading. And then we're also going to do this symbol, double grounding symbol here, to ground all of this energy and this magic into this reading. I'm going to do the power symbol too, extra grounding. So let's put that in there. So just take a deep breath as we move in to your reading. Let's move this back just a little bit. So we're going to start off with some oracle cards and move on to tarot. So we have fly trap, getting stuck in sticky situations, and we've got the number 4 there. Sometimes that means something for some. Harmony and resolution, wonderful, look at that. The freedom of truth, communicate honestly, be who you truly are, wonderful, look at that. So this on target, so coming into your own truth. And we want to be very clear here, pile 3. Truth is relative, but it also shifts and changes. Your truth changes, but it also is a reflection of your beliefs and your beauty. And your belief is that everyone is connected. You really do have that harmony and that gorgeousness. And you also believe that every single person on this earth deserves to be seen. So you have that honesty, and also for you, it can be very difficult when people are being mean people, right? So the other thing that happens with your inner child sometimes is you can protect the child and dumb it down. It's like, oh, you don't need to see this, sweetheart. You know, when people are being ugly and when things are a little bit chaotic. So you know, it's been interesting time for the last 15 to 18 months for you, pile 3, moving through this. But there's also this real gorgeousness to you, this real soft part of you that's been that's really been building in the last 15 months too. Now it's almost like it's been building off stage, and this is something that you needed to do to be able to protect yourself. It's bring in the little unicorn, yeah. And that's perfectly wonderful, but you're ready to incorporate that stage now and have it front and center. And not only that, you're ready to stand on that stage and be exactly who you are. So you have a little bit in common with Paul too, insofar as like there's times when you've stepped into leadership and you've almost used it as a way of, for you it's leadership, it's speaking your truth. And then you've used it as a way to see, all right, gauge the waters. What's going to happen with this? What kind of reactions are going to be X, Y, and Z? And then you've sort of pulled back a little bit. Now what you're doing is you're putting yourself center stage. So it's absolutely wonderful. And, you know, there's that saying, now it's all around social media. It's, you know, when you walk into a room, in the past, you've been that sort of chameleon-esque where you can fit into any situation and fit into anything that's going on, really, and that's a beautiful part of you. But now you're being called to walk into a room and keep your own frequency, but sometimes your frequency diminishes when you do that. Now you're being asked to walk into a room, keep your frequency extremely high, and then everybody has to come up to your level. Now, not everybody will be able to do that, or your frequency, we should say, not your level. You're not looking down on anyone, but your frequency, and this is a new way for you to be. And because you're very sensitive, when you allow in all that other energy, because you're just trying to fit in, and that's something that you've been trying to do but yet not wanting to do. So it's always been sort of on the sidelines looking in, because you want to be part of the world but you don't really want to fit in. So how do we do this? So, and that's the way of getting stuck in sticky situations, right? Because you're in and around other people's energies, absorbing them. And fitting in very well. You're the sort of person can definitely fit into different types of people and see things from every different point of view, which is absolutely wonderful. But not every single point of view needs to be taken in. I saw this recently and I can't remember where I saw it, but I loved this visualization. It would be perfect for you. It's like you have a house. You can go out on your front porch and speak to absolutely everybody about, and for you, you're very visual, so bear with me, I think this will be great. Go out on your front porch, shut the door behind you and go out on your front porch and listen to everybody else's point of view. And then you go into your house and you shut that door with those point of view outside. And that would be great for you so it doesn't diminish your energy. You can still listen to absolutely everybody, and you absolutely have the right to say, that doesn't work for me. And here's the reason why. You can agree with everybody else's point of view, understanding that their point of view should be respected because it's their truth and they're absolutely entitled to it. However, you can gauge from where it's coming from. If it's coming from fear, or if it's coming from energy that's lesser than what you want to be in and around, you don't need to take on that truth. So again, getting stuck in those sticky situations, it's about you putting your truth first. Now that's going to sound a little bit weird to some of you, but bear with us when we say it. Putting your truth first doesn't mean that you're saying that you are right and other people are wrong. Not at all. It just means that you've sorted through your narrative. You understand what your truth is. You also understand that your truth involves every other truth, and you're okay with where you are. And in that, you get to build that stage that you've been building. You get to have that mainstream. You get to stand on that stage, and you get to be who you are at all times. And that is your freedom. So it's stepping into sort of the arena in a slightly different way. Now, for some of you, it may feel a little, or in the past, it may feel a little strange for you to put your truth first, and here's the reason why. For a lot of you, now this may not be a message for absolutely everyone, but for a lot of you, or at least some of you, you weren't really seen for who you were growing up, and then you saw aspects of that in society because that's all you knew. So you looked for that in the world, and then you kind of got that. People didn't necessarily see you for who you were, or maybe they didn't take you seriously, or maybe they were a little bit afraid of you. But it's you weren't used to, and you certainly weren't told to put your own truth front and center. You were actually told to play yourself down and to put other people's truth first and learn to live with it. So there's many different reasons why this could have happened, and it doesn't mean that the people that were in and around you that sort of installed this in and around, the understanding of that knew what they were doing. They were trying to protect you. It's almost like, don't draw attention too much to yourself, just get through life, that sort of thing. And then, you had that understanding of yourself, and then that's kind of what you saw in the world. And then a couple of times you may have even put yourself out there, and then you got the attention that you didn't really desire, so it sort of shrunk back. But that was only because of you held this belief that if you got out there and you said whatever, that you would be ridiculed, or you would get the attention that you really didn't want to deal with, and you didn't want to do that. Excuse me, as I get so excited, I throw the camera off. Or for some of you, it could have been the other way too, slightly differently, insofar as that you got the idea that you didn't have enough wisdom, or you never really had enough information to know if your truth was really truth. So you never really wanted to stand behind it. And that's the thing about truth. A lot of it's illusion in a way. You can move through it, and you can, there's an essence to it, but that you never have to have all of it in order to stand in it. Truth is an energy. So you may have always felt as though other people were more inclined to speak their truth, or had more right to speak their truth, or could have been slightly intimidated by other people's strength in doing it. But just because somebody's strong and they're saying something, even somebody was saying the other day, I was in and around them, it's like, why are the loudest people sometimes saying the most hateful things, and it's just like, some people who do not speak that much, who do not necessarily speak up, sometimes that means that they've got the most to say, but they don't need to say it. So, but for you, this is about speaking your truth. You do need to say it. You should be saying it. You're here to say it. You're here to actually speak your truth. So the harmony and resolution comes in from the fact that you know who you are, and you know that you're center stage, and also putting your energy first. So infusing the energy, and we did this for pile 2. Let's do this for you. What we're going to do, and again, you can say no to this. This is part of a reading you don't have to do. But we're going to infuse the energy of of your essence with your inner child, and bring those roots down into the center of the earth, Mother Earth, into Mother Gaia. And we're going to do this with this beautiful Aiva. So just imagine your roots being fused into the ground, like real grounding into the ground with your beautiful inner child and with your gorgeous truth. And we're going to do the power symbol too. And feel your roots being grounded into the ground where Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, pulls your roots down and absolutely keeps you down in the ground in a really great way, centers all of your beauty and gives you that confidence to stand on that main stage. And honestly, at this point, you've done all the work. Pile 3, if people aren't aligned with your truth, it's fine. Again, speak to them on the porch, go into your house, shut that door. Make sure those windows are closed too. It's okay. You can allow everybody to be how they're going to be, but for you, it's important to put your truth first. Sometimes you've got to claim your freedom. You know, it's not freely given. You have to claim your freedom. There's different ways of doing it. You're doing it in a spiritual sense, which is a very, very powerful way of doing this, right? So let's move this back. Let's move this back. And I don't mean in a physical sense. I mean in a spiritual sense. Physical freedom that's a whole different thing. We're not getting into that. This is spiritual freedom. This is being free in your mind. This is being free in your body. This is expansiveness extraordinaire, you know, gorgeousness. All right, let's see what we have here. More messages from your beautiful inner child who is absolutely ready for you. Yeah, definitely seeing your beauty of how you are with your truth is that when you speak, keep seeing jewels of wisdom coming out. Absolutely, yeah. You hold light codes, so these jewels of wisdom coming out. It's time for you to step into that. Absolutely, the 5 of discs here, getting stuck in sticky situations, moving out of that frame that's kept you there into that sort of painted picture that you're moving out of, where there's an allowance for everybody to be who they are. There absolutely is, but there's boundaries for you moving out of that cycle, always putting your energy first and then checking in. And also moving into this beautiful cycle you have of being on target and following your own life path. Now, when you're following your own life path, it's not always good to constantly look over your shoulder and see what everybody else is up to, right? And that's something that you've done because you're used to being in a situation where you're carrying other people, you're making sure other people are okay. And this is a part of you that you were never going to be rid of, and we're not asking you to do that. We're just asking you to put your energy first and work with this beautiful energy and this beautiful gift that you have of carrying people in a slightly different way. So no longer are you looking over your shoulder to see what other people are doing or to schedule your truth when they finish speaking, or to schedule your truth at all, or to wait your turn. This is your time for that responsible, moving into that responsibility and carving out this time for you. And being moved by how you speak too. Your articulation it's complete, it's direct, it's beautiful, but it's also infused with this magic of this inner child. And it's so funny because the inner child actually, your inner child really protects you, because people can be really mean sometimes, right? You know, children can be really mean too, but you know, people can be really mean sometimes, and you know, and when they sense that they can't really get to you, they can really sort of revert back to this childlike kind of whatever. And the beauty about your childlikeness is that it rises above it and just sees what's going on. You know, it's almost like being in a playground, you know, and somebody saying, she's just so silly, just not getting involved in any of that anymore. Whereas before, it might have hurt you a little bit because you spent that time looking back, making sure everybody was okay, and this is how you're getting treated. So by putting yourself first, you put yourself on target. Harmony and resolution. Oh, 9 of discs. Look at that. Absolute gorgeousness. harmony and resolution, and bringing into this sort of, you have your own holy trinity. You have your soul, you have your inner goddess, and then you have your beautiful inner child coming together. That's not to say that the divine masculine isn't in there. You're perfectly balanced in that. But this is how you move. And you have this holy trinity coming in, and it's been really working for you recently, where you've seen aspects of it coming in. Some of it's been coming in thick and heavy, and you've been working with the inner child, and sometimes they need a timeout, because that's what happens when you don't listen to them. They have a tantrum, and or they put you in a dark place, because they want you to understand that they want to be integrated. They want to be in and around you. And if they're not being seen, they're not being heard, they're not being integrated, they have very powerful ways of getting in touch with you. And your inner child is very, very powerful. So this harmony and resolution, bringing you on your path, you're absolutely on target to move forward in the way that you want to. And the way you are going to move forward, again, pile 3, is to put your energy first, stand in your own truth, and to imagine yourself on that stage. Again, you're not looking down on anyone. That stage is saying that you've earned the right to be on there. You have all the experience. You have exactly what you need to move forward. So rest assured, these self-doubts about, should I be here? Am I ready to take off in the way that I need to? If any of that, if you had any self-doubts coming into this reading, just let those fuse out, let those dissipate in every way. And in fact, let's go ahead and do this noza here. It's connecting. We're going to connect the higher self with the lower self. Heals communication and increases your creativity. So it's just going to give you that extra vavum. It always reminds me of kind of a lighthouse. Beautiful symbol here. We're going to do the power symbol too, which is the Choku-rei. I'm going to put that in there, and we're also going to do the Seihei-ki, which is going to bring all aspects of self together and melded together. So just deep breathing. Take this all in, and again, if we haven't said this before, remember to drink water after the session. You can re-watch these sessions too with intention. And every time you rewatch it, if you feel called to come back to it, you can watch it with intention, with a very specific purpose next time, and use it as a healing session, and keep using it. Keep using it every time you feel as though you need some more grounding, or to come back, or just use it. There doesn't need to be an excuse. There doesn't have to be a reason, but it will work differently every single time. Even though we're using, it is the same reading, it will still work differently every single time. So what do we have here? You have the King of Wands with the truth of freedom here. So we were talking about the goddess energy and your intuition. So you do have this beautiful energy, this passionate energy of this divine masculine, which is fused perfectly with your divine feminine, and also with the intuition and with your gorgeous inner child here. And as your inner child helps you take center stage, this passion and this beauty that you have will absolutely be, without a doubt, people will feel it. People will feel it. People will understand it. People will love to be in and around your energy. It's almost like the Pied Piper energy, sort of, especially children and animals are drawn to you. This will be something that you've probably already known about yourself, but this will absolutely be increased. You have this very gentle, beautiful energy, but this passionate sort of movement forward with the divine masculine. But also, this is something that when it is time to hold your boundaries, you can do this beautifully and gorgeously and walk away without any effect, without, oh, did I offend anybody? Again, without this attitude of looking over the shoulder, being responsible for everybody else's energy and trying to fit in. This is you, and this is not like, be damned, I'm going to do whatever I want, F the world. Nothing like this. This is this gorgeous energy of moving forward and being, and allowing absolutely everything in to a certain extent, but then choosing what you want and having that strength and that passion, that kinetic energy to move forward. And the King of Wands energy that passionate energy is being used sort of as a fuse to move you forward. So it's kind of being used as a fiery way to cleanse and move forward, and getting everything out in your path that you no longer need. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to create this energy for you. All this information, all this other energy that you just don't need. Let's just take it away. Let's just move it out. Other people's opinions, darker energy, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We don't even need to give it any room. Let's just cleanse it out. It was all in the name of trying to hold space for people. Now you're going to hold that space. Instead of giving it to others, you're going to give it to yourself. And then, of course, once you step into that space and move forward and claim it for yourself, then everybody else has the freedom to do whatever they want to do too. So it's the claiming that freedom for yourself, standing in that beautiful freedom, and knowing that as you move forward, you have this beautiful Holy Trinity, this glorious Holy Trinity, and the protection of your King of Wands, this beautiful masculine, divine masculine energy. This popped out too. Safe and happy travel, protection from harm when journeying. So this is a physical journey and also your journey moving forward. We can assure you that it's going to be safe, happy, and protected. When you stand in your own power, nobody can really touch you. When you're claiming aspects of your power but still looking back over your shoulder, that's when you can be affected by other people's energy. Standing in your own power assures the safety, the happiness, and the protection. And also, for some of you, there is a journey. There's actually a physical move coming in. You are waiting for this to all come into fruition, to solidify before you moved physically on to your next stage. Now, for some of you, it could be a new job. Some of you, it could be a new residence. It could be moving across the country. It could be moving out of the country. But it is some kind of new beginning. So on all level, you are safe, happy, and completely protected. So let's go ahead and end with, so we're going to combine with the Seiheki, with the masculine and feminine aspects of self, and we're going to do the power symbol too. So I'm inviting people, if they want to, we've done this with power 1 and 2, if you feel like putting whatever it is that where you feel like you are, what you're working on right now, if you want to put that in the comments too. For the portal that's coming in tomorrow and the new moon, I'm going to be putting some extra magic and some Reiki into the comments to lift everybody up. And it's also a chance to be part of a real community with everybody's essences of what they're working on melding together and lifting each other up. So you don't have to, but if you want to, you can put that in the comments. And also, if you have not checked out, it's not the new moon, but it's also, it's mainly focusing on, but the new moon, of course, is extra energy there. But the Lionsgate portal, which is coming in 8 and 8, this will be put out on the 8th and 8th, which is tomorrow or the day before. So whenever this comes out, if you haven't checked out that reading, I'm going to list it down below. It would be a wonderful reading for you to check out too, for some extra support and love and light, because there's so much energy, there's so much magic in around this time, this new moon and this portal. So check that out if you feel called to, as always, if you feel called to. And come back to this reading and rewatch it if you feel called to at any time, if you need a little extra support. So we're sending you love and support no matter where you are in the world, and no matter just where you are in your life, just for exactly who you are. We hope you enjoyed this beautiful reading that's a little bit different, but I wanted to really celebrate the new moon coming in. And also check out for, if you are subscribed, I think if you're not subscribed, we'd love to have you if you feel called to. But even if you're not subscribed, I think you can still check out the community channel. Check out the community channel. I'm going to be making an announcement tomorrow, which I'm very excited about, a new way to work within Unicorn Light Tarot, and I think it could be really, really cool. And this was just an essence of what we did today, what we'll be doing there. So all the details will be listed in the community page tomorrow, so check in the portal date 8/8. Check in tomorrow in the community page. All right, my darlings, stay safe and sane until we meet again. Bye-bye.